Is there audio yet?
It is. We're just getting started here.
Okay, thought I was.
No,
broken.
you are not broken. You are whole, I promise you. I have so many screens over here. I'm not sure where the videos are, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to session number 2 of the District's Hawai'i Rotary's Public Image Learning Series. Today, we are going to be talking about capturing people of action. And I really appreciate that you guys are here today. We have 14 people on the call right now, so great. We're just going to run down what we're going to do. We're going to go over some introductions. Then we're going to go ahead and talk about just one update that we have in the public image committee here. And then we're going to go straight through the agenda. So let's go ahead and get started first. So I'd like to oh, there's my camera. I see that we have immediate past district governor. No, we don't. I'm sorry. Let me go down this list. We have district governor elect Mark Miriam on the call. Hello, sir. We have past district governor Roz Cooper on here. Do we have any other district governors past? Oh, we have Linda Coble here. Hello, Linda. Great to see you. Let's see, who else do we have? Any other district governors? Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. So let's go ahead and get back to sharing that screen of mine. It is so weird to have 3 screens here and not know which one to look at. So, as I said, we are here for capturing people of action. My name is Joshua Laguana. I am the co-chair for Hawai'i Rotary's Public Image Committee, our resource team. I am a part of a very large team here in the district. As you can see on the screen, these are all the people that are on the committee and our social media accounts. So, if you have social media such as Instagram, which these are the people, I highly recommend that you go ahead and follow us. We are going to be, over the next 7 weeks, implementing a lot of new things in the district and sharing a lot of it with you, and utilizing social media. So please reach out to any of the people on the screen here. Updates. One of my favorite things to do each week is talk about things that are changing around in public image. So first off, I just want everyone to know that we do have a YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/ and you have to have that @ Hawai'i Rotary. The reason I'm pointing this out is because last week we started the learning series, and we are putting our learning series videos, or the recordings, onto our YouTube channel. So when you have a chance, come on over here, put in that youtube.com @ Hawai'i Rotary, and it'll take you to our YouTube page. As you can see, we have 40 subscribers. We have 1,500 Rotarians in Hawaii, so I'd like to see these numbers go up. But it all starts with you. But here we do. Public Image 101, last week's session is online, so go ahead and check that out. Now, let's go on to the agenda. Things that we're going to be talking about today. What is POA? Is it a point of view? Is it a power of attorney? We're going to talk about telling and showing POAs. We're going to talk about things to avoid. Taking great shots, resources, sharing your message. And let's go ahead and jump into the topic of what is POA. So I'm going to open this. This is going to be interactive, so I'd love for you guys to share with me, what is POA? Put it in chat. Unmute yourself and scream it out loud. Linda Coble, I'm talking to you.
I don't know what POA is.
What? Point.
Point of action.
Okay, anybody else? Tess, I love it. From Kapolei Sunset, Tess says POA is people of action.
People of
Yes. So that's very, very important. If you don't know, you have nothing wrong with that. This is a great opportunity to learn about these things. So what does Rotary do? I'm asking you guys, what does Rotary do? Put it out there.
Yeah.
Rotary does good work.
Obviously, it makes a difference in
We make a
community,
difference.
in families, in business. It is an organization that creates a wonderful, friendly environment, which is something we all need. And I could go on and on.
Well, okay, how about this? Together in Rotary,
All these
we
things.
connect.
I know.
How about together in Rotary, we end polio, we inspire, we mentor, we save lives, we empower, we fight hunger, we learn, we promote peace, and we transform. All of those items that are on the screen right now are part of something that Rotary International had created a couple years ago. It was called the People of Action campaign. So the People of Action campaign is a message that provides a simple, consistent answer to the question of what is Rotary, and rallies us around a single idea of telling and showing the world that we Rotarians are people of action. So we go out into the community and we transform. We go out and we plan things together and we connect with the community and with each other. Together around the world, we're ending polio. We go into schools and together we are inspiring. And around the world, we are promoting peace. These are all stories of people of action. And so today we're here to talk about how you can talk about people of action. I see questions in the comments, and I will bring this, I will address them later on. So when we are talking about POAs or people of action, this is your opportunity to tell your people of action story, your club's people of action story. If you are on a district committee, such as the Girls Empowerment Initiative, we're there to talk about what you guys are doing as a group. So in the text, and I'm going to use this example right here, in the text of your ad or story or social media post, tell your people of action story. So Rotary created these taglines, together we promote peace. And it's very, very important that we go back to what the purpose was, is to keep it a simple and direct message as to who Rotary is and what we do. So make sure that your message is short, informative, and inspiring. So if we look at this one, we're talking about together we connect. And inside this may be all the imagery that you need, but you need to add a little bit more. So maybe in the body of your post or in the story that you're writing, you want to offer statistics or other proof of the difference that you're making. We can say, hey, together we raised $5 million. But what is the statistics? We raised that $5,000 to end polio, and we are now this close to eradicating that disease. In your messaging, not just in your imagery, but in your messaging, you want to indicate what you did accomplish. So in this photo that we see, together we connect, together we connected to build a school in Africa.
Yeah.
These are things that you're going to want to include into your story. And so also, how did your club's action change lives? So the people of action story is more than just a picture. And I'm going to ask Whoever's not muted to mute themselves, please. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh,
Good. Yeah.
okay, that was Arlene. I'm muting you, Arlene. So we just want to make sure that the imagery that we're portraying is matching the story that you're telling. So include what your club's actions are doing to change lives. And another thing inside of your people of actions story is to make sure you're issuing a call to action. So again, if we look at this imagery, we're showing, hey, we together, we can inspire youth, we can inspire children, but you still have to have that call to action. You're putting this out there to tell people, non-Rotarians, people that don't know what Rotary is, to join us, to do something. And this brings me back to last week's session of Public Image 101 is what is a call to action? And so the things listed on the screen is like attend a meeting, join Rotary, attend a service project, apply for a scholarship, partner with clubs, donate money or services. That's going to be your call to action. It does not have to be in your image, but the message needs to be there. Your call to action is a piece of content intended to induce a viewer, reader, or listener to perform a specific act, typically taking the form of an instructive or directive. That's from Google. But really what you're asking is, hey, look at this image. I'm telling you what we do in Rotary. Now, your call to action is to come and join us. Think about, what do you want people to do, donate, participate, or learn more? And make sure that it is clear make sure it's clear that you have something specific for them to do. Any questions up into what people of action is? Okay, we're going to move on. So now we're going to go into the imagery.
The question,
Yes.
when you create these images and so on, should you use local people who are recognizable? Should you use local backstops that are recognizable, or the scene of the project, that kind of thing?
You know, you're bringing us up into the next section now, which is imagery. So we're talking about what people of action is. People of action is telling a story, capturing what we do in Rotary. We're telling these things to people that don't know much about Rotary. So instead of just using words and telling them, we're actually showing them, and that's when it comes into images. So you want to use images that portray Rotary participants as people of action. And so, yes, Linda, show real life everyday moments. That's people in your club. These are people that are recognized in our community. Within these images, we want to make sure that we're using images that have a sense of motion. So we're not just standing still or posing and looking directly at the camera. We want to be digging into the ground, painting up a fence. We also want to show several people working or connecting, not just large groups of people, but people actually doing something. We don't want them to get lost, and we want the images to portray that, hey, we're there together. Also, we want to represent the diversity of your club and community. Hawaii is such a diverse set of islands. It's amazing. And you can look at your individual clubs to see that diversity. When someone hears the word Rotary, what are they thinking? We want to try and get them to think that, hey, we're real life people in the community. We are out in the community doing things, not alone, but with a group of people. And you're going to recognize all these people in these photos because we're part of your community. So back to Linda's question is, do you want to use recognizable people? The answer, of course, is yes. You also want to get people that are not so recognizable, because if you have so many elite people in these photos, then it's like, you might get people like, oh no, that's not my group of people. So find imagery that helps represent the diversity of your club and the community. Here are some great examples of images. So this first one right here is a guy and a girl, and they're working together. This one, the second one, they're on a roof, they're actually working. And we just keep going through all of them. One thing that you're going to notice is not any of them have people standing still. They look like they're in the midst of doing something. And also, can you guys guess what else is what's not happening in these images? Something very, very specific. Any ideas?
They're not posing for the camera.
They're not
The
posing for the
action.
camera. Yes, they're not looking directly at the camera. They're looking at each other, or they're looking at the things that they're doing, because these are action shots. These are people of action. So let's talk about some of the things that you should avoid when it comes to imagery. You want to make sure that they're not being posed or looking directly at that camera. They're making sure that there's not poor lighting, that the faces can actually be seen, that what they're working on can be seen. So avoid poor lighting, avoid large groups, avoid the lack of a focal point. So one of the things that we have so many service projects out there is you have to be able to see what we're doing, or the people that are looking at these photos need to be able to see what they're doing. So if there's just a group of photos in a field with trees around them, what does that mean? So make sure that your images have some type of focal point. And then back of heads. I'm kind of like teetering on this, because you could be in a meeting and everyone is facing a speaker. So you could have pictures from behind and see everyone's head, but as long as you see them all looking at a speaker, that's kind of okay. But if it's just someone's back of head and they're looking forward and you can't really see any faces, you don't really know what's going on. And then one of the biggest no-nos that Rotary International says about photos to avoid is handshaking photos. Keep in mind, Rotary is not about donating money or just giving out scholarships. We're there to connect, and a handshake does make a connection, but it's much more than just a handshake. One of the things that I really do love about Rotary is that it does encompass a lot. It encompasses a lot of emotions, a lot of actions. So get some of those. There's always going to be handshaking opportunities. And the last thing is making sure that it's not just a single person, unless it's like an interview or, yeah, just let's say interview. Try to avoid single people in a shot. Now, we have to get ready on, we were able to tell the story of Rotary being people of action and being able to show it. So when you are at an event, whether it be a fundraiser, a scholarship interview, a service project, or even a meeting, you have to get ready. First things you're going to want to do is make sure that you're going to be able to identify someone who's going to capture these images. Make sure that they have something to capture the images with. Can you guys guess what kind of equipment people can use?
Oh,
A phone, yes. Most people will come to a meeting or an event with their phone. So yes, you assign, first thing is you're going to assign someone, okay, you're going to be the person that's going to be taking photos. The next thing is you're going to want to make sure that they're prepared to start taking these photos or videos. So make sure that they go ahead and clean their camera lens. So if you're pulling up your phone, just wipe it so that it's not smudgy. The next thing is to ensure that you have enough storage space on the device. The next thing is to set up the camera. I'm going to go over some settings when we go into videos, but you want to have high quality photos and not filtered, not edited while you're taking the photos. You want to have it a really good raw photo. And then the last thing is to make sure that you test out the settings. So ensuring that you take a photo and then you go ahead and look at it. You record a video and then you go ahead and look at it. So let's talk about some tips for taking some great shots. First one, do you want to do it horizontal or do you want to do it vertical?
Horizontal.
Horizontal, not always, but it is good for Reels, Stories, and TikTok. Vertical shots, pretty much everything else, because with the vertical shot, you can go ahead and crop it, and you can get you could get a horizontal shot from here.
But what if you're sending in video to television stations?
It should be vertical this way.
Vertical.
Am I saying it right? Is this the vertical way? Yeah, right?
This is horizontal. This is vertical.
I'm sorry, it should be, so they were using horizontal and vertical, but it really should, so this is portrait and this would be landscape. I should have used those words instead. You want more of your photos to go like the one in the bottom right hand corner. Those are the images, or those are the images and videos that, yes, you can submit to news stations.
Okay.
But as social media is increasing in popularity and more people are going to them, especially when it comes to Reels and Stories, you do want to keep it going to the one that's in the upper left-hand corner. And we're going to call that portrait mode. Next thing is making sure that you're taking a variety of shots. So you're taking a wide shot. So getting a group, seeing how the depth and how big the project is, but making sure you're also getting some medium shots. So from the waist up, and then getting some close up shots to see what people are doing. And you want to get a mixture of all of them. But again, also keeping in mind that you want to see the action, the connection of people, and what they're doing. Another thing, this comes very popular when it comes to oh, someone is unmuted. Oh, I'm gonna mute you. Another thing is the rule of thirds for framing shots. So when you are making or taking a video or even taking a photo, you look at your entire camera here and you want to break it up into thirds. By breaking it up into thirds, you can kind of then frame the subject, whether it be an individual, it could be not an individual for a photo, but an image, individual. If you're doing an interview, you want to put them on one of those lines, and that's called the rule of thirds. Last year, the district videographer, Ryan Kawamoto, created a video on how to properly take photos and videos, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android, and he gave some tips about using the rule of thirds. You will also be able to find this on the Hawai'i Rotary YouTube page. So just keep an idea for that. Now, when it comes to videos, we're going to transition to that. You want to make sure that you have the right video settings. As cameras continue to get better, the settings may change, but pretty much if you stay at a 1080p or 30 frames per second, that's pretty good for uploading to social media. If you're going to be sending this in to the news station or making a commercial, the better the quality is, better quality it will be good, and that could be at 4K and 24 frames per second. So I'm not really familiar with the Androids, but I know that there's an option to change those settings. If you do it on an iPhone, this is me and my friend Nick Lachey, but here, where that arrow is going, that's where you're going to be able to switch it between 1080p, or on an iPhone it's called HD, and you'll just go ahead and click on it to either change it to HD or 4K or 30 frames per second to 24 frames per second. Along with video settings, if you are taking video and doing interviews, which I highly recommend, if you're out there and you're doing service projects or you're at a fundraiser or a meeting and you want to interview someone, do the rules of third, make sure you have the right frames, but also use an external microphone so that the sound can be specific to the person who's talking. And so you can get this type of microphone from Amazon for less than $20, and it connects directly to your phone. That just makes sure that you have good quality for your videos. Also, if you are doing an interview, you don't want the pictures to be so wobbly. So go ahead and get a tripod. Yes, we're talking about utilizing your phone, but they have these really cool devices that you can put your phone onto a tripod, and those are less than $20, also on Amazon. Now, any questions so far on on what people of action are, how to tell a story, or how to capture those images? Any questions?
Is there a way, am I unmuted? Is there a
Yes.
way to ensure that every club will be directed to the video of this meeting so that those who are stuck with shooting at projects and out in the field and doing all the things that you're recommending, that they know what to do? Because we are pros.
Well, you know what? We are in the public image resource team, a very small but mighty team. It really is going to be the works of all the individual clubs, the
Right.
people on this call to share the word. And yes, these resources are available to everyone. I'll show you guys in the resource section on how to access this later. So thank you, Linda.
Good. Thank you.
Make
Good.
sure to bring that up.
I shouldn't know how. The guy that takes pictures in the Centennial Park should.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
everyone should. So each of you are Rotarians, and each of you go to service projects. Each of you go to meetings. Each of you have cell phones, which means that this entire group of people, there's 23 people on this call. We now have more videographers, photographers that can help show the world what Hawai'i Rotary can do and who we are, people of action. All right, let's continue. I'd like to show some examples as to what might be good, what might be bad, or could be better, I should say. So we're going to go ahead and pull up a video. So someone did say that Hawai'i Rotary was not showing up on YouTube. So make sure that when you go into your browser, you're going to youtube.com, putting the / putting that @ and then Hawai'i Rotary. That will get you to this page right here. And the video that we're going to go through is going to be our first 30-second one. A lot of people are going to be recognized. So let's check this out.
We are Rotary. We are people of action. Together, we find solutions to real problems. Solutions that make a difference in our communities, for our families, our neighbors, and ourselves. In Hawaii and around the world, take action with us. Find out more at rotaryinhawaii.org.
So we have that one video. Now let's go back. That was produced by Rotary International in 2020, before the pandemic, before the convention was supposed to come here. And now we're going to show a video that was shown at, we're not going to.
Where's the poop? Seriously.
Sorry, that's a terrible commercial. But we are going to look at this video that Ryan Kawamoto created from videos that were collected over the last year. We put this video together and showed it at PETS this year. So let's go. I'm going to keep the volume down, but one of the things that I'm going to talk about is look at the imagery that's happening here. In the video itself, things are happening. There's wide shots. There are people connecting. There's faces. Now there's also going to be photos in here where people are looking directly at the camera, and those are group photos. They can be good just so that you can represent, or you can identify who is at the meeting or who is there. I'm gonna make sure that we bring this. So looking at these photos right here, it's great. But I ask, or I pose the question, does this show that we're people of action? I'm going to continue moving forward. And if we look at this, this is in a newspaper. This is great because it shows who is in the Rotary Club of Windward Sunrise. But does it show what we do? Let's continue looking. This is a great photo. Actually, let me back that up a little bit. This is a great photo. You have someone you see faces on here. You can see some of these kids and they look engaged and like, ooh, there's books on the table. This is a great example of what we do. Continuing in, this is a great photo, and it's not action shot, but this is a great photo because it shows the depth of our impact, the amount of people that we've are working with. Continuing on, these are people are looking directly at the camera. Yes, we're working with grass, those are great, but keeping in mind people of action. What action are we showing here? Continuing, I love this video footage right here because this really shows Hawaii and the connections that we make with each other as Rotarians, even though we're not all on the same island or in the same club. Keeping on with this, I mean, a lot of great photos. You see recognizable faces in here, and that's very important. But when it comes to the campaign of People of Action, what do you want to show more? Smiling faces or people that or people that are actually doing stuff? So like this one right here. Any questions so far? Now, I'm just like, just hands up or in the comments, has anyone here learned anything new?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just go ahead and say it. What's one thing that you learned about the People of Action campaign?
Well, you certainly have shared ways of sharing People of Action.
Great. How about you, Jay? Oh, you're muted, Jay.
No, I'm not. Basically, you know, you showed, or the thing that we showed at the pets showed stills on it, but the stills were just a quick glimpse. They were not standing there. It was to show the amount of people that are there, or the amount of work the amount of hands that were put on the project.
Yeah.
So the stills are okay, but not just the stills put into the people working on action. So I think that was a good way of doing it.
Great.
So when you said, you know, not to put stills, well, stills could be used, but not as a focal point, but as a moving point.
Right. Showing where you want to show motion. How about you, Bobby? He's thinking. He's thinking. Roz, how about you? I saw you raise your hand.
How to capture these motion pictures.
That's awesome. Anyone else? Lee, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I'm learning so much. It's almost a little overwhelming. So I'm glad you're going to have the videos coming back so we can rewatch them.
Yes.
But I am learning. It's like POA. I always keep forgetting it means People of Action for Rotary. I keep thinking person of interest.
Well, good thing. Good thing we moved on from that. Okay, so
Yeah.
I promise that we're going to keep this under 45 minutes. So we're coming to the end. And now I just wanted to share some resources that are available. Of course, I highly recommend that everyone go to the Brand Center. These slides will be available along with the recording after this meeting on the District Public Image Resource page. And there'll be links in there. But when you go into the Brand Center, you're going to be looking for things that have the People of Action campaign. This will allow you to create these images with the Together We Connect, Together We End Polio, and you'll even have the ability to upload your own images. So take some of the things that you learned from here on how to capture it and then bring it over here. I'll also have these links on the District Public Image Resource page. If you don't know what it is rotaryD5000.org/public-image. We also want to highly encourage that you would take the People of Action course in the Rotary Learning Center. It's great to learn how they created this campaign. There's some quizzes or tests in there to ensure that you're actually capturing some of the information that they're relaying out there. And then there is this really, really cool tool called POA Photos. And it's People of Action Photos. It is an online site that you click on that link. It'll take you to this place where you can go ahead and upload your own images. You can change colors, and then it has all of the different Together We Connect and Polio, Transform, Fight Hunger. So you can make your own images and they can be compliant. But it's very important that you remember the things that you want the imagery to show: motion, focal points, not direct people looking directly into the camera. So as a recap, take proper POA, People of Action Photos and videos. With those photos in a story or in your post, tell the story. What are they doing? What is the impact? Who was impacted? Allow the photo that can take, say, 1,000 words, or picture is worth 1,000 words, and then add maybe 300 words and tell that story. And then make sure in your story that you're identifying what that call to action is. Together We Fight Hunger. Join us on the last Friday of the month at the Keauhou shelter to help feed the residents. Then, of course, that's how you're going to develop your ad, your story, or your post. If it's going to be an ad and you're going to push this out onto social media, that's great. Make sure that that call to action is very, very clear. And then when you do, you post it and share it. Make sure that you're tagging other people. So make sure you're tagging your members. Make sure you're tagging the district, Hawai'i Rotary, if it's on Instagram, or Hawai'i Rotary on Facebook, or Rotary D5000 on Facebook. The more people that you can get into that post and resharing it, the more people that you're going to be able to impact. So thank you very much, everyone. Are there any questions before I kind of do a wrap up of things that are coming up in the next couple weeks?
Josh, not a question, but just a comment. So
Yes.
I've used the brand center already a couple of weeks back to create POAs for our website. But I just want to comment that the POAphotos.com is a little bit better because you can actually change this the spaces. Or I mean, you can, because when you go to the brand center, the POA is static. So you actually have to adjust the photos to make sure that it's not, the words are not covering people's faces or whatever you want to convey, right? So the POA photos is better in such a way that you can actually move the word around. The POA action words actually. So you don't cover what you meant to convey in that particular photo. So
Hey,
just a big comment.
that is a very, very important thing. If you're going to be putting words over an image, don't take out what you've specially crafted to show the People of Action. So if you're putting Together We Can over like the moneymaker here, you got to move it down. So like you said, the POA Photos app is incredible where you can move things around. But please do note that you don't want to put it like in the upper right hand corner or on this photo and then put it on the left hand corner in the other. You want consistency, and the consistency should be in the middle. So just when you are adjusting it, still make sure that it's centered. Any other questions?
Just impressed, Joshua. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Any other questions? Wow, you guys are good. You guys, I'm assuming everyone here is just going to rewatch this video, which is great. But in the next coming up weeks, the training schedule does continue. Every Monday at 3 p.m. I will be here. Next week, we're going to be talking about brand compliance. We're going to talk about color palettes. We're going to talk about logos, what things to look for, and how to avoid non-compliance. The week after that, we're going to talk about Club Runner. Majority of the clubs in this district use Club Runner, and you can build a great website. You can utilize a lot of the tools and resources in there to get people to know about your events, to register for your events, to donate to your events. The week after that, we're going to go into social media 101. So we're going to talk about the basics of social media and how you can leverage that those platforms to increase your membership, to increase your engagement in service projects. After that, we're going to talk specifically about Facebook and how your club can utilize that. And then we're going to go into the 202, which is going to be Instagram. And when we go into Instagram, we're going to talk about reels. We're going to talk about stories. We're going to talk about sharing. The weekend after that, we're going to talk about a free resource that's available called Canva. Some of you may have used it, some of you may not. I recommend you coming to this one because I'm going to be sharing some free templates that you guys can utilize to create posts, create flyers, create invitations. That's going to be a really fun one to do. On April 24th, which will be the end of it all, will be the effectiveness of a media release. At the end of this, the 9 weeks, we're going to have a lot of tools in our toolbox, and we're going to see how we can start to effectively utilize them by sharing it with the media. And I'd like to just remind people that we are looking for people of action. So after today, each and every one of you should now be able to know how to take a photo of people of action, take video of people of action, do interviews, and get their story of people of action. I need each and every one of you to share in the responsibility of sharing what we do. So please, by April 30th, if you guys have an event, if you have a service project, bring out your cameras, bring out your photos, talk to anyone on this meeting, invite them and ask them, would you like to take some photos? Also, we are still promoting the public image resource team to come out to your events, to your meetings, whether it be a fundraiser or a service project. Invite us on the neighbor islands, on Oahu. Give us some time. We would love to be there. I also want to just take a pause right now. Does anyone have, so last week we talked about creating a message and developing a call to action. I want to give the next 2 minutes to people. If you have an activity coming up, let's practice what your message is and see if you can do your call to action. Does anyone have anything?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll go first. Hi everyone, my name is Josh Laguana. I'm from the Rotary Club of Hickam Pearl Harbor. One of our newest members, Brian Hartmus, he is our club treasurer, but he's also our international service chair. He went to Papua New Guinea last year on an international service project. It's the first one that our club participated in, and he's going to be sharing his story this Thursday night at Big City Diner at Pearl Ridge. The room opens at 5:30, happy hour until 6 o'clock. If you are all invited to come and listen to how you can also participate in international service projects. So see you guys Thursday. Anybody else want to talk about, do a commercial, talk about your events, talk about your next meeting, talk about your service project? Go ahead, Bobby, unmute yourself.
We have a combined event, a walk and talk starting at 4:30 in Hilo, and it's a guided tour of beautiful Hilo, Hawaii. And then we finish up at Temple Bar, which is a great watering hole and restaurant where we take donations or money or goods, and we provide support to a new organization each month within the community. That's Wednesday, 3:15 in Hilo.
Nice, very nice.
And I recommend that when you do that, look at the camera as if you're looking at a human.
Me?
Yeah. Look at me, not over there.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I really appreciate everyone's time. Brand compliance by June 30th, 2023, which means come back next week. We're going to be looking at individual clubs' websites, and we're going to be doing a brand audit on that. So join me next week, 3 o'clock for brand. Also, don't forget about sharemyidea.org. If you have a brilliant idea on how we can improve our community or how we can share what's happening in Rotary, go to sharemyidea.org and share it over there. And then everyone, this is a contact information, website, and social media accounts. So until next time, aloha.